Hello again. Yes, it's me, Dave. I disappeared for a bit. That was a bit funny, wasn't it? Yeah, so I did the Baking Breadly videos 5 months ago. I just read it here. It says 5 months ago. That is ridiculous. And I stopped at episode 26, as it says here, and then that was the end of that. The reason that happened was because I had to do some other videos, and I did some videos for BassKit, but also for Tuts Plus. And these videos were a course for Tuts Plus called Building Websites with BassKit. And that's what those original videos were actually building me up to. It was to improve my talking into a microphone, which I'm doing now. So I'm talking to myself. Build up my confidence, which has gone a little bit down a bit, in terms of doing these videos at least. And just to make myself feel a little bit more natural when talking into a microphone. And they didn't come out too bad. Got quite a few compliments, so thank you for those. And overall, it was quite fun. It felt a bit pressurized to do so because it was something I'd not done before, but I like that kind of stuff when you get forced into a situation where it's something you kind of want to do, but you just need that nudge to say you should just go for it. Anyway, this video is to try and get me back into doing my own videos for myself and see what I want to do about them, because Baking Breadly I liked doing, but I was restricting myself to just development on the Breadly website, which I still haven't finished. Let's have a look. Breadly. Well, I at least still have the domain. Could have expired for all I knew. Yep, this still works. It's what was it using? It was using Bourbon and Neat, and obviously Jekyll, and it's all running on GitHub pages. Let's not go into that. Oh, nice. Flicks through. Forgot I did all this stuff. So yeah, I want to do more design or more development, or I want to do all sorts of stuff on my videos. I want to say video channel, but really I just want to make some videos, and YouTube seems to be the best place to put it on. The content for this video actually is going to be what I'm using. Sorry, I'm putting spaces between things. Whoops. I'm putting spaces between things because I don't know what I'm saying next. So I'm going to try and get through this smoothly without spaces. How are we doing on time? 3 minutes. Wow. Okay, so that's shifting that aside. I did have a few people ask, like, what's my setup? What am I using for recording the Breadly videos and then the subsequent Tuts Plus videos? By the way, any links or things I'm going to put into the notes in this video, but also I'm going to write up an article on my website, my personal blog website, which I'm using on daviddarns.github.io. So I'll post up an article on here and list up everything that I mentioned in this video. Make it a bit easier if you don't have time to listen to this end to end. So yeah, so that's my channel with all the Baking Breadly videos on there. And this is my course. You can go on Tuts Plus and you can watch it for free. You just need to make an account, just log in, free account, and just go and check it out. Sorry, this is a plug. This is like me advertising for this. I don't need to advertise for this. Go and have a look if you want to. So let's have a look at my setup. It's slightly changed since I did the course, but only minorly, because I switched to a new Mac, and it's a lot better than my old Mac Mini, which was a little bit slow. So I've made this little video here, if we just spin it up. So this is my desk, and there is my MacBook Pro with the 2 monitors. Let's just pause it there. So yeah, I've got dual screen monitors. The MacBook Pro is new. I had a Mac Mini before, and that's why I needed the monitors. So I had one Dell monitor, and I'll give you a link to that in the description and in the article. That'll be linked to Amazon. I'll just link to all of the products on Amazon because it's the easiest place to link to and to probably buy them from. So yeah, these are 2 Dell monitors. For the course, I had one landscape, and that was probably the one on the left. And I also had it downscaled, which is what I've got now. This is what you're seeing. And you're seeing my screen, but reduced down to 1080p, which I believe is... Oh no, sorry, not 1080p, to 720p, which is... What is that in the pixels? In the pixels. So 720p resolution in PC. That is 1280 by 720. That's the recommended size. That's what I was recommended by Tuts Plus in order to record these videos at. Because any bigger, the text is really small, the taskbar is small, everything's really tiny, and you're kind of squinting a bit. You're probably squinting a little bit now to try and read all the text. Hopefully not. So it makes it easier to see everything, and it's just the right size. For me, it's actually smaller on that monitor. It's probably a little bit more like almost where that editor window is, about that size. And what I've done is I've reduced down the underscan, so I'm not looking at like too much of a blurry mess. So that's the left-hand screen, and that's what I use Screenflow on. Screenflow's down here somewhere. Here we are. Let's open up a file just so you can see it. Oh no. No files. That's because it's a new version. Ooh. I wonder if I can open up a file at all. Can we do new? Just do a new, random, new document. Screen dimensions. Yep. So this is Screenflow. It's very much like iMovie HD, if you remember that, or if you ever used it. That was a really good application. That's better than iMovie. iMovie HD was the good one because it was simple, and you had the timeline down the bottom just like this. You had your main editor window, and I think this was on the left instead. But this has all your controls in here, and you can like focus in on your mouse, like screen recording options and audio and little call out things and everything. That's what I used for the Tuts Plus course. Really good application. You might think it's a little bit expensive, but you will, if you do anything for, say if you're doing a video for like for money, you know, you're doing it for a website, and they're willing to pay you for doing a course on something you enjoy, then it's well worth it, because it just takes all the pain out of everything. It's really easy to use. You can cut stuff up, and it doesn't throw all these options at you, and you don't get lost in everything trying to go, oh, what does these controls to do? How do these work? It just makes everything very simple and says what it is. So let's close that back down. Oh, that was interesting. That almost moved. So yeah, I have one screen for that, and then I have another screen for my script. And in this screen, you can see I've got Google Docs, which is what I used for the course. I put my script notes in there, which is what I don't have now. That's why I'm like scatterbrainish and like not talking properly. I need a script in order to read something from. And I had that portrait, so then I had it portrait orientation, and I had the script like full screen, 100% height, and then I didn't have to scroll so much, and I could read a lot more in one chunk. And if I was lucky, I could like read like almost all of it in one go without even scrolling. And I kind of got that idea from people who code. They often have like a portrait screen. I haven't seen many people do it, but they'll have like a portrait screen with all the code like just one big long line, like some kind of like, super hacker, cool guy, like scrolling through all the text. Yeah, so in fact, if you can't really see, but behind there is actually like this boom arm thing, which is like a T-shaped thing, and it's clamped onto the table, and then it's screwed into the back on these monitors, so I can move them about and turn them and everything, and they're really good. It's the monitors are fairly expensive. They're like 100, 200 quid each, but the stand is like 30 quid. 30 or 40 quid. It's really cheap, and it clears your whole desk space. I get loads of room on the table. It means you can just move them about really easily and not have to have them on stands where you're constantly having to shuffle them along and like trying to negotiate space on your desk for all your other stuff. So that's how I have the monitor set up, and we'll wind it on a bit more. Probably don't need to, but you can see here, this is my... Is there a way? Oh, no. Okay, that's the best we've got. In fact, probably back here I had the whole thing in shot. Yeah, so this is the Rode Podcaster microphone, which I'm talking to now. Well, I'm trying to talk into it properly. And it is an excellent microphone. I think I got a few people mentioning this particular one. I did a bit of Googling and researching, and Rode Podcaster came up quite a few times. And I thought, well, it's starting to look like the sign for that one. And then I recall Chris Coyer saying that he uses this as well. So, that was the final nail in the coffin for picking this microphone. It's reasonably priced. They're all, microphones are expensive, but for the money and the quality, this one does a particularly good job. But if you notice, when I say particularly, you might hear, I'm not sure if you will hear it, I'll have to play it back to myself and listen to it. The P's might pop a little bit. Now, the Rode Podcaster does have a kind of pop filter inside it, so it's supposed to be filtering out the popping P's, as people call them. I've got a lot of P's to say now. It's quite convenient. I do have a pop filter, like to go over the top of the microphone, but if you look in this video, in this shot here, you'll see that there's like a bit here which is facing like downwards, and then there's another bit here which is screwed into the boom arm, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the only place I can screw the pop filter on is on there, and then it's like I have to like reach up here, and it doesn't quite reach. It kind of sits on it at a bit of an angle. So I either need to get one that's like on a twisty arm thing where you can like clip it anywhere and it will just bend round to the microphone, or I just get more the like plumber's like metal piping that seems to come with the pop filter and get another bit on there and make it just longer so I can reach the end of the microphone to cover it. So other than that, it seems to do a pretty good job, or a pretty damn good job. Let's have a look at the boom arm thing. It's pretty cool. It makes doing these videos kind of fancy, like you're some kind of radio DJ. It's just an arm that clamps onto the side of the table, and then it just bends over, and it means that I can twist everything up and down, and so I can move it up like I'm doing it now. I'm like moving it up, and it just stays there, and I can move it down, stays there, and it makes lifting and positioning it really easy, and I can just look at the screen like I'm normally looking at it and not even have to worry about leaning forward or bending over or sitting in a funny angle in order to just talk to you and see stuff on the screen and type on the screen and all that kind of stuff. It makes it more natural, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't say, oh, go get it. You need it. You don't really need it. You could just have something to prop up the microphone, and it would be fine. But if you look, I've got an additional like mount. I need to look that up actually. I've not got that in the notes. I need to add that in. It's like a suspended mount. And it means that when I knock the microphone, like now, I'm knocking it, you might be able to hear that. It doesn't shudder, and also tapping the table doesn't cause like too loud of a tap. That might actually be quite loud anyway, because I'm tapping quite close to the microphone. But it reduces the amount of shake. Like, the more you can like remove the microphone away from everything else, the more it's gonna ignore any like arbitrary sounds or arbitrary vibrations and things. And the boom arm helps that. The shock mount, that's what it's called, a shock mount. So the shock mount helps that, and then the pop filter kind of covers up any popping P's and that. It's all these little extra things that you can get to make the quality of the voice like a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. I would get the microphone first, and don't matter how you get it, you know, just like stand it up on something. Then I get the shock mount. No. Would I get the shock mount? I'd get the shock mount with the boom arm. Just get them together, because you're not going to be able to screw one to the other really. You can screw the boom arm onto the microphone, but it's not as good. You might, if you're going to pay that money for a blooming boom arm, you might as well get the shock mount as well, which is what it's really for. And then get the pop filters as well, and make sure it kind of actually goes over the end of the microphone, because with the Rode Podcaster, it's directional. It's more directional. It points to what you need to point it at your mouth in order to record it properly. I am yabbering on. 17 minutes? Where did all that go? Anyway, let's skip along. So, glass of water, very important. I'm going to have a swig of that now. You dry up incredibly so when you talk that much. I should know. Excuse me. So, yeah. Have a glass of water when you do this stuff, because you'll just dry up like a snail in summer. And what else have we got? Aha. These are my homemade, well, partially homemade foam panels. And this was, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, who asked about these panels, but they wanted to know how I'd done them and how much it cost me to do so. And it wasn't that expensive. I tried to do it cheap as chips, because I am cheap as chips. And let's just stop it before the end there. Oh, I can't pause it on the screen. Right. So let's wind that back to those. Wind it back to this one, which seems to present it the best. So this is a homemade like acoustic panel, and the main purpose of acoustic panels is, from what I've seen, is to, well, there's two things. One, get rid of echoing. Two, get rid of sounds outside the area that you're recording in. Now, the second one I can't do really much about. I can only get so much foam, and I can only live in a flat that has so thick walls. You know, I can't live in a cave. As much as I feel like I am, I'm not in a cave. But what we can sort out is the echoing, and this was one of the things that Tuts Plus told me to like get sorted, and why I had to get this sorted myself and step up to it. Said there's too much echoing, and what's happening is, as I'm talking, it's bouncing off the wall in front of me, it's bouncing off the walls beside of me, and if I don't have any of these panels in here, the echoing is incredible. It's so different. It's so different in the room. So I looked up about acoustic panels, and you can get ones where they're on a stand and like some kind of art gallery or something. And they're quite expensive, like £170 for basically a piece of foam on a board with a tripod under it. And I didn't want to pay that much for that. And also I needed something bigger. I needed something that would just be like quick and simple. I needed something bigger, but also reduced floor space, because this room's not very big. I don't want massive tripod like stands like everywhere, cluttering up the place. So I needed something cheap and cheerful and simple. So I bought these acoustic panels, like these foam panels just on their own, from Amazon, from like a Acoustic Solutions, that's the company, and they were £38, and I don't know what that translates to in dollars, probably $70, I guess. I'm saying about $70 for that. And they came in a big box, and they're 15 inches square, and I got 24 of them. 24 of them, £38, which is pretty good. And then I bought this MDF panels, just these big MDF panels from like B&Q or a DIY shop down the road, and then marked them all out and just stapled them with a staple gun straight onto the boards. Now that sounds really crude, doesn't it? It doesn't sound very professional, but it worked. It worked. I got a pretty powerful staple gun and just bashed them right in the corners. You see how they're a little bit pinched in there. And it just worked. I did the separation in order to like utilize most of the space. So when I'm sitting down, the middle panel is about at eye level, and then we've got two above and below, two pairs above and below. And I've got 3 of these boards around me, and they're propped up by just a chair, which I can move out of the way and then put these panels against the wall, and then I've got my room back, and I've got all the space. And you also notice that I've used the leftover ones, because I had 24 of them. I could just put them anywhere, so I've put them just around the table and just propped them up. I could, if I want to, make another panel, staple them all onto that board as well, and then prop that up behind the monitor and the desk, because that's the most important place to reduce the echo, is because I'm talking at the wall is bouncing the sound back off again and bouncing it back and forth, and we don't want that. So most of the panels need to be in front of me really, but luckily the objects in front of me slightly diffuse that sound or the echoing. So yeah, and then the MDF boards were probably like 10 quid or something. So that'd be like $17 US dollars. I'm talking about. I'm trying to like a global currency to help people get a gist on prices. So all in all, so 30, it probably like 60, 70 quid for everything all together, which is like $120, something like that. And it seems like a bit of money, but this really sorted everything out, and it was so cheap to like put together. And I can just lift them up. They're a bit heavy. Lift them up, put them against the wall, and then I've got all this space back in my room. They're really simple, and they do the job pretty well. What else is there? What else have I I've got the Sennheiser headphones in the corner there. They're just like, they were like 50 quid. They're just regular Sennheiser headphones over the ear. I was told to get some pretty good quality headphones. I could have spent a bit more money on them, but these were ones that I bought a few years ago because I wanted some nice over the ear headphones to listen to music and play games with and stuff. And these did a nice job. So, you know, you can spend quite a bit of money on headphones, but I was told that audio jacks, like regular 3.5 audio jacks, just the normal audio jacks that go into your computer and that, you can only get so much sound out of them. So just somewhere around 75 quid, you're going to get something quite nice. Any more, and you probably want some extra features like wireless headphones that have a docking station and things like that. That's what you want to spend more money on, something that has more options. What else have we got? So it says Screenflow, and then, yeah, just make sure you've got the software you need in order to present everything. I used Coda for the course, but I've now switched to Atom. Well, I'm trying out Atom at the minute. Nice and simple code editor. Nice with Git, works well with Git and GitHub. So that's about it. And that is 26 minutes. I'm getting on half an hour. I'm sorry if I've wasted your time, if this wasn't very informative, but I really hope it was. And I'm hoping to do more videos soon. If you got to the end of this video, thank you. And let me know what you want to hear from me, or hear and see from me. Do you want me to do more design, more development? Do you want me to do a bit of both? I'd like to do a bit of both. And I will make sure to make these videos shorter and snappier. I said this in the last series and the Bredley ones, but I failed dismally. No, I didn't. I got quicker. I got quicker towards the end. So yes. Okay, thank you for watching, and I shall hopefully see you in another video.